Hello, my lovelies. This is Wendy Sanford Green, your digital marketing queen. And here today, by request, I am going to cover the topic of the economic volatility that's going on right now, the fears and concerns that equate to objections and standstills for people that are trying to grow their business and put marketing together and make a plan to really get out there and capture people that are looking for their products or services. So many times, as you guys know, I work for a national company and I help people with their marketing, small to medium sized businesses to really grow and dominate. And right now, a lot of resistance is coming with what's going on a worldwide level, globally, the invasion in the Ukraine, what that's going to mean for us, the hikes in gas prices, the outbreak of a new variant of COVID, everything that's going on right now leaves people in this kind of state of paralysis and numbness and shell shock from what happened in the past. And I want to say, look at the past. Let's really evaluate the past, how we handled it, and maybe how we can improve upon that handling moving forward so we're not repeating some of the same mistakes. Now, I had my own marketing agency, a little boutique marketing agency, when COVID happened, when it first happened in 2020 or came about and the pandemic hit. And it was very detrimental for me. I was a recently single mom of two children. I had them home with distance learning going on. I was not an essential worker. And every business that I had, my small to medium sized businesses, a lot of the owners went MIA. They were non responsive, they were freaking out, and they were closing their doors because there was no foot traffic coming in. Instead of really doubling up on that digital dominance and the online presence and finding a way to regroup and pivot so that they could handle what was going on and change the way that they did business and marketing and did maybe e-commerce instead of in person, that would have been a great way to handle things. So now we've seen that because of COVID, because of our seclusion, we've seen the increase of traffic and search and socializing and surfing all being done online. That's where more and more people are going to do their shopping now. And now I have an Amazon addiction I didn't have in the past, not quite as bad anyway. So we have learned to change our skills a little bit to where we're more reliant upon online searches and experiences and socializing with our friends, everything done from an online perspective. So capturing people when they're online is crucial. And so I always love the analogy to the gladiators that were training where they were chained to a pole and around their heads swung something that they had to duck or else it would knock them out. And around their ankle area was something else that went around a blade and they had to jump lest their legs be cut off. And they learned to duck and to jump and to keep an eye and realize how to respond so as not to end up, taking hits and eventually just falling apart and meeting a bad fate. So I love that analogy. And I think that's what we look at history for, is so that we're not doomed to repeat the same mistakes. And so moving forward now, we learn when to duck, we learn when to jump, we change our strategy a little bit so that we're actually finding a flow. Every 2 years, there's some scares, there's some paralysis, there's election years, things like that. So we kind of have to know that these are excuses that we're making to not move. And every time we don't move and we don't pivot and we don't work on our digital dominance, we're falling further and further behind our competitors. For every day that you wait, your reviews are not keeping up with a competitor whose reviews will outrank you, and they're going to outrank you in their placement on search results and organic results and things like that. It's not just about reviews, it's about building that SEO. It's about the on-site, off-site optimization, building up that relevancy score, things of that nature, becoming a reputable company. And then also the pay-per-click campaigns where you're getting at the top placement on the page where people that are ready to buy are going to click because you're exactly what they were needing. So putting all of that together and staying really relevant and showing up where people are looking for you is crucial. And that is what we need to do moving forward. Don't find yourself making excuses and falling behind. Move forward, put the tracks in place and be certain that no matter what happens with the economy, you want to be a part of what's going on when people are buying. And people, whether there's less of you out there on the internet because people are closing their doors or not, or they're in a state of paralysis. Don't be one of them. Be the one capturing more because you are still consistent and you are still doing your marketing. Do not slow down. Do not lower your budget. Keep at it and you can dominate further. So that's something I wanted to say. And then addressing questions. I always ask you guys to send me the questions that you have. I got a great question on another video about what retargeting is and explaining retargeting to you. If you think about retargeting, it's basically tracking people that have shown an interest in you, that you're relevant for. How they do that, you know that there are cookies out there. You've seen what social media does. When you mention something, look up something, suddenly you're seeing ads for something like it. So at-home workout machines, suddenly I'm getting that dream butt machine on every single ad. And I'll probably start seeing it more now that I've mentioned it on this video. And you'll see I'm looking at treadmills, and then the next thing I know, everything's a treadmill or a treadmill that holds my laptop so I can work. So gym memberships, those sorts of things start coming up because that's something I've been looking for. That is retargeting. So when people go to your website and then life happens, they get distracted, the kids come in, Mom, I need this, whatever the case may be, they were looking into something that they wanted to spend their money on. Or they read an article and it has to do with, floor cleaning in your area or how to get something out of your carpet. I use that example a lot. And they weren't necessarily on your website. They're showing that that's something that's relevant to them and an interest of theirs and they're in your geographic area. So finding those people and then sticking to them like Velcro for 14 days as they do things like search, surf, socialize, as they're checking sports scores, the weather, email, reading articles, they're going to keep being reminded, that's right, I was looking at floor cleaning. There's Kinnison floor cleaning. I'm going to go ahead and click for a quote right now. And then that's retargeting that works to bring people back. Because as I've said before, remember, people don't want to save money. People want to spend money. Even when they save, they're saving with the intention of spending. Your job is to make sure that what you offer is what they want to spend their money on. And you shape that perspective and you make what they may want be something they feel they need. How many times have I bought more junk for my house when all I want to do is declutter it? And yet here I come home with more things to put on a shelf or an end table or something of that nature. So it works. You can just absolutely retarget people and remind them that, hey, you were interested in my company or you were interested in the services I offer and I'm going to keep following you around. So I capture that money before you get pulled somewhere else and spend it on something else because I know you want to spend it. I know it's burning a hole in your pocket. Let's get it spent with me on something you wanted with me. I will remind you that you want me. So that is retargeting at its finest. I did have another question about Google Maps, Apple Maps, and just touching on all of that, getting your location, if you have a brick and mortar location, on the map so that it can be found, getting yourself on Waze. There are ways to do all of that, but I want to actually dedicate an entire episode to that topic so that I can share my screen, go through some things and give you some best practices there. So we will do that on another episode. But I did see the question. It is a great question. And aside from that, I want to remind everybody to take your vitamins and have a great night. And thank you for tuning in to Wendy Sanford Green, your digital marketing queen. Don't forget to ask questions if you have them. Don't forget to comment if you have a comment. And don't forget to like my video and subscribe so you never miss an update to the digital marketing domination. Okay, thanks guys. Bye-bye.